Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. It is Kate here with another video. In today's video, I'm going to be telling you guys how you can actually unlock the Mammoth and what you specifically need to do to actually unlock it. I will also be showcasing the Mammoth afterwards, so stick tuned in today's video as I'll go over everything you need to know about the Mammoth. So the first thing is, how do you guys actually get the Mammoth? Now, there's two actual possible ways to get the Mammoth currently. It might be fixed in the future, so keep that in mind. But the first way is obviously getting the Game Pass for the Mammoth skin. For some reason, when you actually buy the Game Pass, you will get the Mammoth for free and you won't have to actually do the mission that is needed to unlock the Mammoth. But if you do not get this Game Pass, you actually have to do it with the fossil collecting way, and that I'm going to go ahead and go over. So basically what you do is you can choose to be a direwolf or either a western horse, anything specifically pretty fast to actually collect the fossils and get it done pretty quickly. Once you have spawned in as one of those mammals, you will go to the tar pit, which is located up near Rancho La Brea, which is also being currently hovered around my mouse, so you guys can find the tar pit right where my mouse is currently hovering over. Once you go there, you will find a fossil of a mammoth in the tar. You want to jump on to the actual fossil of the mammoth and you want to inspect it. Once you inspect it, you will be able to actually see a fossil zone. Fossil zones are kind of like the migration zones, except they're smaller and they're the color blue. You want to go to the zone that is currently being shown to you on your map, and you want to find the fossils that are currently there. So there is going to be one fossil in each zone, and every time that you collect a fossil from that specific zone, you will actually have another zone pop up for the next fossil. There is 8 fossils that you can find on the map, and once you find all 8 fossils, then you will have the mammoth. All of the fossils are dinosaur related, so they will look a lot like a dinosaur fossil instead of something like a mammoth or whatnot. To help with better finding the fossils, if you get close to a fossil, there will be a little circle that kind of shows up. Not if you're like right on top of the fossil, but if you're pretty close to the fossil that it's pretty visible on your screen, that it will have a little circle around it, and then the closer you get, then you'll be able to actually inspect it. That is how I kind of found my fossils, as if you get close enough, you'll be able to see a little circle, and then when you get to it, you'll be able to actually inspect it. There's also a lot that are closer to the rocks and the water when it comes to finding them, so look around all of the rocks in the location that you're looking at, and also look on the rivers that are currently in that zone that you're looking for. Now, I'm not too sure if these zones are specific or if they are all randomized for every player. So what you're seeing on screen might be different from what you're actually looking for. So there might be different locations as well as different fossils, but I'm pretty sure the majority of the fossils you'll see me catching on the screen are actually going to be for everybody to see and also collect for getting the mammoth. So that is how you unlock the mammoth. Once you collect all 8 of the fossils, then you'll be able to actually play the mammoth. Now, with the mammoth, we actually have a few new mechanics as well as some stuff to showcase. So we're going to go ahead and go over the first one, which is customization. The mammoth has a unique kind of customization, as you'll be able to choose the size variation of your mammoth. You can have a small, medium, or large, and also the gender of your mammoth will determine how big your mammoth is. As you can see, they actually do have a pretty big size difference when it comes to the males and the females. Along with the size of your mammoth, you can actually choose the size of their tusk. So there's going to be small tusk as well as big and also mediums. The only thing is, if you have a small mammoth, you can actually not choose large tusk, and the same goes for the large mammoth. You cannot choose the small tusk, but if you do the medium one, you can do all 3 of the tusk and do whatever one you wish to use. There's also 3 skins we got with the mammoth, and that is the default one, which is the one that everyone can play as once they unlock the mammoth. Then we have the second one, which was 500 tracks, and you guys can also buy this one with tracks once you unlock it. And then of course we have the Game Pass one. This is the one that you can actually buy for, I think it's like around 800 Robux, and it is pretty expensive, but you also get the mammoth for free and you don't have to do the quest if you get this skin. And honestly, this is one of the favorite ones, by far one of my favorite skins for the mammoth. It looks really nice, but it is the Game Pass skin that you guys can get from the mammoth. So we have a few mechanics with the mammoth. The first mechanic that we have for the mammoth is knocking over trees. The mammoths can actually knock over specific trees. They can't knock over like really big ones. Like this one, for example, I don't think I can knock over. But if I was to go to this tinier one right here, or even a tiny one, even tinier than this one, I can actually hit E to push it. And with the pushing, you'll be able to knock over the tree. Now, it's kind of finicky at the moment, so you have to have a certain angle to actually knock over the tree. So if the tree is not showing the E, then I would just walk around it to make sure that it's not the angle of your mammoth that you're having issues with to being able to knock over the tree. Now, the bigger the tree is, the harder it seems to be to push it over, and you actually do get tracks from knocking over trees. Now, you don't get tracks every single time you knock over a tree, but here and there you'll be able to actually earn tracks from knocking over trees. Another thing that's pretty cool is the mammoth can actually spit water. So if you go up to a river and you kind of get close to it, you can hit E and don't hold it. Just make sure to hit it because that is like the key. And then you will have your trunk kind of curl. And then once you hit E again, you will spray water in the air. Doesn't really do anything. It's just kind of there for visual and also for people to just play around with. But it is pretty cool to actually see your mammoth like suck up the water and then be able to actually spit it. Another passive kind of ability that the mammoth has is whenever the dung is actually placed onto the ground, which is what predators would use to actually catch you and track you down, as well as it's kind of like a realistic kind of mechanic, then they will actually eventually turn into foliage. So with the dung, it will actually fertilize the ground and you will have foliage come and pop up around the dung that was placed on the ground. The last mechanic that we have with the mammoth is them being able to actually revive some of the rivers or ponds that we have that can dry up. So if there is one that dries up, the mammoth or whoever is playing the mammoth can go up to the river and there will be a thing that says E to dig. When you hit E to dig, you'll be able to actually revive the river and have it have water again. There's also different eating animations. So if you go up to a tree, you can actually hit E to eat and you'll be able to jump up on your back feet and grab things from the tree to eat. There's also another animation that you can have from eating from bushes. So if you go down to a bush that's here or the grass if you're grazing, you will have a totally different animation play. So it's pretty cool to see the two animations play out. We also have some animations for the mammoth as well. I'm going to just showcase off before I end the video, which is resting. The resting looks super cute. I love it. You can't actually sleep yet though. So you can just kind of rest, but you can't actually sleep as a mammoth. We also have the attacking. So this is the first attack. And then we have the second attack, which is just kicking your back leg. You can kick both back legs, but you have to view a certain area to actually kick it. So it kind of just depends. And I think it also does randomize as well for the back kick, which is the second attack. Another little funny thing about the mammoth is the trunk actually follows your mouse and the viewpoint of your camera. So if I was to look down, you can see my trunk is down. And if I was to move my mouse around, it follows it. So you can actually move your trunk based on your camera angle as well as your mouse position. I thought this was a pretty cool, unique kind of thing because you can actually move your trunk. And it's not just kind of sitting there doing basically nothing. Lastly are the sounds, and that will be it for today's video. So thank you all for joining in and enjoy the mammoth sounds.